Hard working, dedicated. Would like to dedicate this to those who never hate it. Can't nothing hold us down. Can always go another round. Welcome to the underground. Real sports with real sports guys. It's a flex that had his mindset, ready for whatever grind next. My mindset, working with the time left. Hard working, dedicated. Would like to dedicate this to those who never hate it. Can't nothing hold us down. Can always go another round. Welcome to the underground. Real sports with real sports guys. Hard working, dedicated. Would like to dedicate this to those who never hate it. Can't nothing hold us down. Can always go another round. Welcome to the underground. Real sports with real sports guys. It's a flex that had his mindset, ready for whatever grind next. My mindset, working with the time left. Hard working, dedicated. Would like to dedicate this to those who never hate it. Can't nothing hold us down. Can always go another round. Welcome to the underground. Real sports with real sports guys.
Because now we're gonna get to the main event of the evening, the NFL draft, and there's a lot going on. So I'm gonna open this up because we're gonna get you know we're gonna put Darnell in isolation. We're gonna ISO and run some screen and rolls, but we got Hammer too, because Hammer will foul in the paint. And for me, I'm just gonna be distributing the ball. I'm gonna run through. I'm gonna make sure to set up. I'm like that on the court. I'm gonna get out the way. I'll jump in when I can. When these two start going at it, I might put it on two screen. I'm trying to see if I can do that so we can just have them side by side. But but Hammer, I'm gonna start with you, and then Darnell, I'll go to you because I think you'll go in a little bit more detail about some things. But I think Hammer's also we've been going back and forth with this. When you look at this draft overall, a lot of people will say, "Hey, we don't have a lot at the top, but we got strength in the middle that you can find from about 20 to a late first round to going into like day three. There's a lot to be happy. It's going to be a GM's draft. What are your thoughts when you start to look at this draft and things that get you excited about the draft and it just or how you might define when this draft as you look at it?
I think the problem with this draft is the lack of QBs. I think really the other positions are very stacked as far as you look at tight end, you look at tackle, edge, but the most premier position is really a problem, and you have people who you have some quarterbacks who are going to get people fired. I mean, that's simple. I don't think Cam Ward is that good. I think Cam Ward, any other draft, would probably be a mid first round pick. He's talented. I've seen him at Washington State before he went to the U, and or Kenneth Ward. I mean, he's had a real ascendancy in his career, but there's no. I mean, he's the most underwhelming number one pick I've ever seen as far as it goes, as far as his stature, as far as the way he translates to the next level. And then Shedeur Sanders, there's serious drama with him. We've talked to our chat about Shedeur's issues. I think he should have been a little bit more humble, and brothers disagree with that. But the bottom line is that he is losing a lot of money from his debacle in the combine. You can spend it. I'm not going to come on the show and be like this. Clearly, this racism, this haterism of this young man. No question about it. But also, you don't fuel the fire. And this brother has gone from maybe the first pick to 21, and I think he's not getting past Pittsburgh. And I think people will trade up for him, but he's losing a lot of money. And then the local spin for my Bears. There's a lot of what are they going to do? They're going to trade up. You're going to trade up, and there's one player, the most controversial player in this draft, and I know I can't wait to see Darnell's eyes go up, and yours too, because you probably think Ashton Gentry is going to get a lot of people fired. I'll put it that way. A lot of people fired.
I thought you were going to say a different name.
So who you thought I was going to say?
Will Campbell.
He can get a lot of people fired too, his short arms. But no, but Ashton Gentry, I cannot believe this brother. Did we see the same game against Penn State, y'all? The dude bumble, got whooped. Again, And they talking about my Bears are going to trade up for him. God help us. I hope, but it just this brother, he's got the whoever his agents are, they need to get paid like 20 cents on the dollar, 20% of his contract, not the 5%, because they're the biggest con artists out there. That this brother against top competition, Penn State he wasn't even average. He got humiliated on national
Yeah, but he
TV.
also ran all over Oregon.
Yeah,
Like I mean, he wasn't
early
like
in the
he didn't
year,
have
early
good
in the
games
year,
against
bro.
good competition.
Early in the year.
Yeah, but
What
he's
first
had
game of
good
the
games
year?
against good competition. We can't play him like he
Man,
had played this year.
bruh, he's
I mean, that
from the
game was
Mountain
a
West,
whole
bruh.
bunch going on with that
Okay,
game.
well,
But
again,
he's had some good.
I'm telling you
I'm
right
gonna put
now,
brother on
you
it.
can quote Hammer on this. Ashton Gentry makes Blair Thomas look like Jim Brown. Quote me on that. Quote me on that. Quote me on that. This brother is trash. And I hope I go viral with this. This brother can get a lot of people fired and talking about his body and all that. Look at the tape. People trying to outsmart the room. Look at the tape, people. He got whooped against Penn State. He got humiliated in a big state. What are you going to do on Sundays? He's going to get crushed. And like I said, I want a year from now, I want to sit down with Darnell. I want to see again. I want to see who's right, because we had some great battles here. Andrew Thomas versus Tristan Wirfs, but I didn't even talk about that because that's insulting to Brother Thomas. He's a good tackle, but this brother Genty is a fraud. 5'7", 200. Talk about five on a good day.
5'8",
5'8".
215.
He's gonna get a lot of people fired. And then the thing about the thing that really bothers me is that they're trying to say because Saquon came up with Philadelphia that now we're gonna draft a bunch of running backs. People, it's a bad analogy. Saquon was a finished product, bro, and then went to a championship team and to the next level. We're talking about again his original team. The Giants let him go. Remember that he developed there,
Yeah,
and
but
so
the
you talk
Giants
about
the Giants letting him go was because they made a lot of bad decisions. It had nothing to do with
they
him.
did. Yeah, they made a lot of bad decisions.
The
Yeah, they made
Daniel
a lot of bad
Jones
decisions.
thing.
No question.
The part of problem, Chris Kennedy said something different. Like he said, part of the problem when people talk about that um, is it's your commitment to running the football. The reason why Philadelphia is good because they made a commitment to doing some of those things. Giants hadn't done that very well,
They had great
right?
offensive line too,
Yeah,
D-Rose.
I
They
mean,
had the best
so
offensive line in
yeah,
football. Maybe the
yeah. I
best.
mean,
This
so
might
if
be
your
tough. Maybe
Bears
the best
got
of
them,
all time.
if your
Maybe the
Bears
best of
got
all
them,
time. That line.
if your Bears got them, they're putting together something, and they made a commitment to the line. They're putting together. He would perform in that, and you could rather than wait for the fifth year stuff. If you want to do something, you could do something that might stretch it out a little bit over time and make it less of a hit. But the whole thing about the running back stuff is usually running backs at that high are going to bad teams who don't have good offensive lines. It's like a quarterback with no good offensive line. It gets exacerbated in those spaces. So I if he's going to the Raiders, do they got enough in front to run? I don't know. I mean, this
I
whole
don't think
thing
so.
about him and about offensive running backs in the narrative we put out here is sometimes ridiculous when you start looking behind, really looking at it, right?
I
So it's
see.
about
I see
it's
with
about
Isaiah
are you committed to
Pacheco.
doing something,
The
right?
team has been the best. The team has been the best over the past 5 years. Has a 7th-round running back, bro. That's all I gotta say. You don't need a run. Kieran Williams 5th round. You don't need
Look, look,
your
look,
key. Your
look,
key. Your
I mean,
key
look.
is
you're talking about
talent
good players
development.
like Kyron
Talent
Williams.
development. And
Kyron
so
Williams. Kyron Williams was a amazing player at Notre Dame.
Yeah,
He
he's
was
a
he
just
first
went
round
fifth
pick.
he
They
round.
was
decided to get a
He
second
went
round.
fifth
underdrafted because
round
he
though. He
ran
went
like a
fifth round though.
4.7.
Yeah, he's a
He went
first
fifth
He ran
round
round.
pick that
he ran
they just put him in the
terrible
second round.
at the combine. So
Yeah,
yeah, so he failed.
He fell
yeah.
badly, and so like I
You put your
said,
first round picks down to the second round pick, call them second round picks.
man, all I
That
know
ain't
is
it.
that with
Why is the
Henderson, talking
second
about
round? Because
Henderson's
of the
going to go
narrative.
first round. They're talking about Omarion Hampton's going to go first round.
He
All those people will get people fired because you can get a good running back, and this is draft going to
because
show
we
you.
pushed them down. It's
You
almost
go
two
no
standard
because they're not
deviations from what it
durable.
used
D
to be.
Wills, they
This
are
draft is not
3-4 year players, and that's it. That's it. That's all they are. They are 4-year contract cats. Then you go recycle them. That's simple. You'll need to
this
get. They're
Ain't
not
nobody winning that way.
transcendent
Yeah.
linchpins to your franchise. No way. And Saquon Barkley proves that. He proves it. He
How do you
is
prove?
not with his original team.
Hold it.
And they're trying to
Hold it.
claim that he's
If
not with
you
his
had,
original team.
hold it. If they had done it the other way, they might be winning now. If they had dealt with Saquon first
Coulda,
and
shoulda,
then
woulda. Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
franchise, you and I
He was
knew
hurt with them. He
not
was
to pay
hurt
the
with them.
quarterback.
He was hurt with them. He was hurt several
So
years with
what?
them.
I would pay
So
him
what?
more than.
Yeah, that's why I let him go. He
So was
wasn't durable.
but hold it. So was that quarterback got hurt too. They
He
paid him,
did. Yeah, he gone too.
and he was terrible. If both of them are hurt, if they're
he had
both
one good
hurt,
year in
if they're
Castro. Yeah,
Hammer. If they're both hurt, they're both hurt. Who do I
yeah.
trust more? I trust Saquon more than I trust Jones.
I trust neither of them. That's what I trust. But I wasn't there. Neither, because
And
both of
that's
them are
why you
injury
sit where you
prone.
sitting there. He said with a Super Bowl ring,
Well, he said with Super Bowl ring because he went with the Eagles. Come on,
and
he
he
was the best
carried.
team possible. He didn't care. Look at the Super
He was
Bowl. Look at the Super.
he
He didn't care in the
carried it.
Super Bowl.
He
Where was he in the
carried.
Super Bowl, bro? Where
He
was he in the Super
carried it.
Bowl?
He
Where was he in the
carried it.
Super Bowl?
He
Where was he in the
carried
Super
it.
Bowl? He
He
was
carried
like
it.
quiet as a mouse.
He carried it.
He didn't do nothing in the Super
You
Bowl.
buying it.
They put him in check.
Hammer, let me get over here to Dar now. Let me bring him in because you take me down a rabbit hole. I'm not gonna go down. I have all kinds of issues,
Did
and
he play well in the
I
Super
think
Bowl, brother?
we can
Did he
really
play well
get
in the
it.
Super
I have
Bowl?
all
Did he
kinds of
play well
issues
in the
of how
Super
they
Bowl?
do it
Answer the
running back.
question.
I'm gonna leave it
Did he play
alone.
well in the Super Bowl?
Let me get
Answer the
Darnell
question.
in.
Did he play
We
well
got
in
to
the
share
Super
the
Bowl? You
space.
didn't answer the question. The answer is no.
Let me
I
get
said
Darnell in.
no. That's the answer. He
Let me get
played terrible in
Darnell
the
in.
Super Bowl.
Let me get Darnell in. Darnell. All right, we go now. We got you in ISO, baby. We got you. I know you're not. I know you coming off IR, and your jumper might not be what it used to be with the NFL draft, but you still as good as anybody in the bit, all the fellas in the business. So we gonna give you that ISO right here. I'm just gonna give you an ISO screen and just have it under you with your name under. But we'll get there. We'll get started. The draft, ways you've been looking at it, how you looking at possible positions. How are you thinking about this draft as you look at it, just in your, kind of your initial? I know you're gonna go deeper dive tonight. You're gonna be looking up. By tomorrow you'll be in a better place. But we'll just go with your rough draft right now and the way you're thinking through this. Because you are a working man. How are you looking at this?
So this class, it lacks the flashy names, flashy prospects that draw guys to draft, like the quarterbacks that Carl mentioned. Also, the receiver class is not what it has been. But then, like Carl said, there's a lot of depth in this class, especially on the inside, especially in the trenches. The offensive line class might not have the Trent Williams, the Penei Sewell at tackle, but there is a lot of interior guys and some solid tackles as well. On the defensive end, the defensive tackle class is very deep. Starting with two guys here in Ann Arbor, and Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, but it goes way deeper than that. You go like 10 to 15 deep of guys that can play significant time in the NFL. The edge class has a couple guys at the top who are amazing pass rushers, starting with Abdul Carter, wearing continuing the tradition of wearing that number 11 at Penn State. Well, you also have Mike Green at a Marshall University, who is unheralded from an unheralded school, but he came to the Senior Bowl, he showed out, and if you watch his tape, he is phenomenal. He has a deep bag, and he's a finesse rusher, but he has a whole lot of power too. And he showed that in the Senior Bowl, and he two-hand bull rushed Josh Conerly right over. Linebacker class might not be really that deep, but have a couple guys, especially Jalen Walker from Georgia. Jalen Walker is a plug and play player. He's a Swiss Army knife kind of football player type of guy. Like, they moved him around anywhere and everywhere. I got a chance to go down to Georgia this year for the coaches clinic and got a chance to talk to Glenn Schumann. And yeah, certain packages was just for Jalen Walker. If Jalen Walker wasn't in the game, they just couldn't run him. But Jalen Walker is a guy you can put him on the edge. You can play him an off-ball linebacker. He's an excellent spy. He can do a whole lot of things for your football team. Jahad Campbell from Alabama, he does some of those similar things. He's a great athlete. And in this world of mobile quarterbacks, when you're going to play against guys like Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, he's a perfect guy that you can put to spy him because he has the athleticism. He also has the size. But another theme, moving away from the positions, another theme is there are guys in this draft that are dealing with some injuries that might move them down the draft boards, but are really talented players. Like if Benjamin Morrison comes to the season healthy, it changes the whole conversation about cornerback. Because I'll put Benjamin Morrison up with any of these corners. And you know how I feel. You know what I feel about Will Campbell. I remember when Will Campbell was not Will Campbell, Will Johnson. You know how I feel about Will Johnson when he was a true freshman. I came to a spring practice before he ever played it down at Michigan, and I told you, I called you. I was like, man, if Will is not starting, I know so because this dude he was something else. He is as polished as they come. He reminds me a lot of Patrick Surtain. He's not on that. He's not at this. I think Patrick Surtain is at a half level higher. I think Patrick Surtain is a little better, but they play a very similar style. They're both very polished, very smooth, big corners that can run. There's some question marks about the top end speed with Will Johnson, but I'm not necessarily concerned about that. But yeah,
one thing I want to break it down though, D Wills. I mean, you were underestimating my brother. Now, we go into arguments, but I'm gonna give him credit. This brother's on it. Don't tell me about it. This brother is behind. This brother's on it. He sounds like 2022, bro.
But
you trying to tell
how did he come in?
trying to tell people that
He's like, I'm not as good.
sipping a little bit. He's got because we're no. This brother is bringing it with even less time in the lab. So give this brother his respect, man. This brother's killing it. Listen to him. Talking about. Oh, he might no. You trying to, brother? Again,
how did he come in? Like, hey, I'm not.
It,
he
bro.
texted me like I didn't quite do my homework. Look at him.
It's like, bro. He's a music guy. We're music people. I used to play oboe. You know that, right? I told you that,
yeah.
Darnell.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. I thought you knew that. Yeah, I played oboe, man. The black oboist from the South Side of Chicago. Make the long story short, hey, I can't lie. I didn't practice that much. I was the best sight reader ever. And people knew it too. They knew I didn't practice, but they knew I'd come in there and I'd do with no practice. Like Allen Iverson, sight reading, I'd kill it, man. They're like, you don't practice, you know how to sight read. I was good. I had natural talent. Like I said before, let's say doing Darnell, man. Darnell sight reading today and killing it. And D was talking about, man, brother, dude, whatever you did, keep on doing it, bro. I'll call you.
But he would call me.
Because,
I'm like,
brother, he tried to underestimate you, brother. Listen to brother. He talking about Benjamin Morrison.
I'm under promise so he can overproduce. That's it. That's how I do
bro. You did. That's how you do it, bro.
That's how I do it. I'm under promise.
Brother,
I knew he was going to clear that bar.
He did. He's more clear the bar.
But Hammer, wasn't it like he was freestyling? He like, cat, let me get in the booth. I ain't quite prepared. They turned the beat on.
I think
he Jay-Z in it.
He's been more scripted in the past, but it was just natural. He was just breaking it down. I mean, it took it a little bit. But yeah, that's the bottom line. Like I said, you know me, I'll know some of them, and I've been more of a connoisseur, and Darnell's really helped me because I can't lie. Like I said, I'm not the biggest connoisseur of college football. I can't lie about it all, but I watched probably more, listen to Darnell, watch more tape. And my guy, I give my shout out to Lee Allen Jones, same thing. He's been hitting me up on all the prospects all year, really. I've been talking to him, that brother, he bring him on the show all year. I've been talking to him about these. But yeah, the one thing is that brother Shamar Stewart's gonna get some people fired too. Definitely. That brother's gonna get people fired. That brother in Texas A&M gonna get people fired. That brother looked like King Kong. And you look at the tape though, that brother got what, 1.5 sacks, Darnell, something like that?
Man, somebody
man, he gonna get somebody.
I think it was him, but somebody compared his height, weight, speed to Myles Garrett, and they just put them side to side, and it just goes to show how just on paper measurements only go so far. They only because he plays absolutely nothing like Myles Garrett.
No, he does not. No. I mean, he could, in my understanding, he could, but Yeah, again, you would know more, but Myers, he gets on the field, it's just like he's quiet as a mouse, bro. Yeah,
And,
and
A lot
I
of
so
don't
that
know how
goes sweet.
his name is pronounced. I want to ask you a quick question, Darnell. You might have hit him because you ran through a list. I was trying to. Is it Emin Mari or
You
whatever?
talking about Nick
the brother from
Ward from
South
From
South
Carolina,
Carolina?
Emin
Like,
Mori
he's
yeah,
a
from.
that
safety.
bug
Like, he's
bad,
a
bro. That
big,
bug's bad.
big
That bug
athletic.
So
Well,
bad.
is
think
he
about
is he
South
more of a
Carolina.
in the box like? Because I was listening to some Steeler podcast and they were talking about him in terms of if Steelers decide to go safety in the way he might play, like he's someone who would be probably playing in the box. What does he bring to the table? He seems like South Carolina always has those dudes,
He
right?
is a weapon. So talk about South Carolina. I'm back up because I went to AFCA earlier this year,
Yeah.
and the South Carolina, one of their strength coaches was speaking, strength conditioning coaches.
Now, what's that acronym, brother? Break that up for the people. What's the acronym, bro? You
Was
just
that
said the acronym you just said.
what strength conditioning?
You went to what? Yeah. Okay, go
Oh,
ahead. Yeah.
AFCA. Sorry,
Break it down for the people.
American
Yeah.
Football Coaches Association.
Thank you. Break it down for the people,
Uh,
bro.
yeah, that is a summit, like a convention where football coaches of all levels.
I know you said break it down for the people. That's all. I'm saying.
They go down. This year was in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of coaches present and kind of share what they have with the rest of the coaches, and it's a good experience. It's a very big networking event with guys. It was a good experience. Met a lot of guys and heard a lot of talented, smart coaches speak. So yeah, that was good. I would definitely recommend it for any high school coaches that want to learn and get better.
So you were saying the South Carolina coach, was that related to Nick and how he
Yeah,
works
so
in
I
it?
was talking about how a lot of guys. So South Carolina, much like Penn State, they turn out these exceptional athletes. They have a great strength and conditioning program, and they recruit well. I'll put it that way. But
Mhm.
I was just painting a picture of South Carolina. You got this guy and Nick Harbor, who's going to come on in a few years. That plays tight end. You got a defensive end in Dylan Stewart. So just kind of paint a picture of South Carolina. You just think athlete like Nick Wari. He's in that. He's in that mold where he's a mutant. Like you might be hearing like, okay, he's just a box safety. He might be to start out, but with development, Pittsburgh, they're known for like Coach Tomlin says, he doesn't run from coaching, and
Yeah.
he doesn't allow coaches that run from coaching on this staff. So um, allowing him more development, he could develop into a safety that he could be an eraser. You know what I'm saying? He could be a guy that you can put on an athletic your athletic tight end because he can run with him. He's almost as big as him. You know what I'm saying? And he can make the tackle when he gets there. So I can see him being versatile.
He can ball, man. He can, but isn't he like more? Isn't he like a box safety? He can play a little inside linebacker in a pinch too. That's what he's
Yeah,
kind of.
so in some
Yeah,
sub
yeah.
packages maybe.
Like Derwin James. I mean, not to compare him to Derwin James, but
Oh,
kind of
okay,
like
yeah.
that too.
Derwin James. That's what we talking about. Darnell's guys. Derwin James was the original Darnell's guy.
Yeah, he can
Yeah,
ball. Yeah.
that's a football player.
Oh yeah, all day.
The
Yeah,
epitome of such.
but that he's a football player all day. I saw the tape. I was like, wow. I was just like, man.
Yeah. So as we look at this draft, it just feels like this is going to be a really good GM draft.
Yeah.
I mean, folks, you're gonna see people trading down. I think you got to sense people are gonna be trading up.
People gonna be trading up
Um,
too, though, bro. People gonna
huh?
be trading up too. People gonna be trading up too. Like I say,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
top heavy. It's top. I mean, strike that. It's got some good elite. It's got probably about 6 elite prospects. They call blues in this draft. People like I'll argue, but talk about Abdul Carter, Mason
Yeah.
Graham, Tyler Warren, Cam Ward. But the like I said, this is going to be a draft where people are going to eat in the second, third round. My Bears got 2 second-round picks. I hope they don't trade one of them, but you hear a lot of rumors. But the bottom line is it's a line where A lot of really good prospects, and really the running backs too. You have a lot of cats where
The running
the
back
fifth
class
round.
is extremely deep.
Oh, it's probably deepest
It's
I heard ever.
ridiculous deep.
Might be deepest ever. You the cat from D. Neal from Kansas. You got
It definitely is.
Hampton. You got you got Junkins. You got
Yeah.
Quinshon Judkins, you got Travion Henderson, you got
yeah, yeah,
my
yeah,
boy
yeah,
Ashton Genty.
yeah,
You got
yeah.
you got my favorite running back in this class. I know he's not the best, but he's my favorite. Um, Johnson, Caleb
Oh,
Johnson.
Caleb, he's second round all day. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they got some really good. So yeah,
But
you have a
Cam
really
Scatterbo is in this
yeah.
class.
Apple,
Yeah,
he's
I'm a
been
big scatter.
getting. I'm surprised he's been getting some visits, top 30 visits, which is stunning. So yeah, and these draft, and I think Saquon, I mean, it's going to help people because they're going to overdraft running backs now because of him. But again, like I said, it's a bad analogy because he was original team. But yeah, but it's going to be a really interesting draft all the way. And really, these trades are going to be more fascinating because you're going to see the value of these prospects. I think you might see like some old drafts, and Darnell probably knows this, where they start trading some some 26 ones for twos. You'll see that that type of talent. And so yeah, it's gonna be really, but yeah, the one thing, the premier position's not the one. Shadur is really taking a hit. I think Jackson Dart will be first round. That Tyler Show might mess around, be first round. I've heard because they see him as a quarterback. And bro, he's hoping with a lot of people, man.
But one thing I'll say about the running backs is the game of football is cyclical.
Yeah.
And with the spread revolution and the revolution of the
Yeah.
split field coverages, the too high safety coverages, we're in a more run heavy offensive
Yeah.
era that's coming in. And now with that, I wouldn't necessarily call it overdrafting these running backs because I know there is a lot of talented running backs, but this is a time where you need multiple running backs at the top. I don't think you want to make these running backs last longer. You might want to have a couple of these guys because there are guys around. So if you have a Derrick Henry, why not bring in a Quinshon Judkins to go with him? Why not bring in Caleb Johnson to come in with him? You know what I'm saying? So I think there is value in there to bringing in
Yeah.
a second or third running back.
And I think if you think you have one like a Saquon, what I think you might see a little bit more is doing that extension similar to how they might do quarterbacks maybe in that third year with a little shorter opportunity, especially as running backs want to have a little bit more security. They might get creative with how they budget them, and you see the investment in the offensive line. So it's like you got to commit. I think the reason why it changed a lot is, first of all, I think they're miscasting some of these running backs. So some of these running backs were as effective as some of those receivers, but they weren't getting credit for some of those things. And so I do think, like you're saying, as the defenses are defending, that's why I think people are out thinking the room on Shador because you got to have somebody who can pull it all together. And you might not have him as a top 10 quarterback, but there's an element around winning. He's a winner. and there's and he knows how to play the game. And he knows how part of what makes him good is he knows what he's not good at, and he knows even at this age, he knows how to accentuate things in ways, and he can come in and command something. And I think, some of these front office people, because I got some folks who work in this stuff. There's a cultural dynamic that feels like UFC in their framework, in which they want folks to bow down to them. And this is a business about leadership. And I don't think they're used to seeing somebody, with that caliber of leadership. He delivered in multiple settings. He's won. He wins. He wins even when he doesn't have good people in front of him. So I think people are out thinking the room on him in ways that I think is going to cost somebody some checks in the future. Is he a top 5? He's definitely a first round pick. It's about where you think he's going to be. If he lands down there, I hope he lands with the Steelers. We'll take him in a minute. And I hear I'm listening to Steeler guys all the time. They don't want to take him, but they all
They want Milrow.
they
They don't
coming
want
with the
him. They
same
want
they come with
Milrow.
the
They want
same
Milrow.
stuff.
They want Milrow.
You
They
know,
don't want him.
they coming with the same stuff down there.
They want Milrow. They don't want him, man.
Yeah,
I was reading
Milrow,
Milrow.
nah, but
I think
Milrow's best
that's
runner, probably
I don't
prospect
care
ever.
about that. I want a
I
guy who
think
knows
that
how to
would be
command
a
offense.
mistake.
Yeah,
I
we
think
got talent.
again,
We got talent. I don't need Miller. Now, if they end up with him, I'm cool. If Shador's there at 21, take him.
he won't be there 20. I think they'll trade up for him. I really believe they'll trade up. I think
Yeah,
somebody like
but
Shador. You're right.
yeah,
He's a winning guy.
it's a
He's
Lions season.
buying bad offensive, bad off. Yeah, it's Lions season, but it could be with people
Yeah, a lot
lying.
of
He end
people
up.
lying.
Don't be surprised in the second round, though. I
Yeah,
mean, that's the
huh?
thing. He might mess around in the second round.
He
Though.
ain't gonna be in the second round. He'll be
You never
first
know. I
round.
mean,
People lying.
again, it matters. We're gonna really see. I put the one thing we're gonna
If
really
he
see
end up
what
in the
people
second
think.
round,
We're gonna really see what people think about
I said
Shador tomorrow night.
I knew Brady was. I was shocked when Brady didn't get drafted because I watched him his entire career. I was shocked when Brady didn't get
He might
drafted.
be a second, third
When
round
he
pick.
ended
I
up with
never
the
thought he'd be
Patriots,
he's a sixth
I'm
round pick,
like,
right?
there's a lot of people getting fired. I didn't have to wait for Brady. I watched him his entire career. Like, this guy's
I
a
watched
winner.
him entire
I
career
watched
too.
him
I thought
against
he was
all these other
second.
guys. I'm like,
I was
they
stunned he
ain't even in
slipped
the same
that
league as
low,
him.
but they heard him
Yeah.
a combine where he ran like a 5.5 or something like
But
that. Like,
he ain't trying to outrun nobody. You need to
I
throw
know
it.
that, but
He's a
my point,
winner.
yeah,
So you gotta
I know
trust
he
the
is.
tape. That eye in the
Yeah,
sky don't lie. Too much of this
yeah.
other stuff is getting in here. Look at the tape. The tape doesn't tell you that,
But see, the
right?
problem is
For me, who
the
look,
tape sometimes lies. And
that's
look
why
at Josh
tape gets
Allen.
people fired.
Look at Josh Allen. That tape
Yeah.
looked bad, didn't it? That tape looked bad, didn't it? And a lot of people got fired because they passed over him. The people took
But
Baker
that's the
Mayfield.
problem.
They got fired, right?
Everybody wants to be the new cat. Football ain't really changed as much as people
Football's
want to
changed.
say it's changed.
It's changed.
The
Yeah,
people
it's
who
changed.
win do have winning habits.
Don't tell
That's
Josh
not
Allen
different.
to have no winning habits, bro. Come on now.
There is winning habits. Those
Josh
things.
Allen, and nobody tell me Jalen Hurts. People didn't project Jalen Hurts to
Jalen
be
had
this
winning
good.
habits.
Yeah, winning
I was
habits,
a
but they
Jalen
projected
Hurts
him to be
fan.
this
I knew
good.
he had winning habits.
They didn't project him to be
Jalen
this
Hurts
good, though.
had winning
Yeah,
habits.
winning habits, but they ain't projected him to be no Super Bowl
But you have
quarterback.
to understand what you're trying to do. See, we get caught up with the superstars. Like Burrow need to get to a playoff game. Like
Yeah,
like
went to the Super
we
Bowl. What
get
are you
caught up
talking
with
about? He went to the Super
superstars,
Bowl. He
right?
went to the Super
You
Bowl.
gonna invest in like Cincinnati's in trouble. They put all this money over here
They're in
and put
trouble
nothing in
because
the
yeah,
defense.
you're right. They're
At the end of the
spending
day,
foolishly.
you got to win the line of scrimmage.
That's true. Yeah, they ain't win the last
Like
scrimmage. Yeah.
everybody, like it's all smoke and mirrors. But look at the team that's dominating and been dominated pretty consistently for a while. They
Yeah,
win the line of
KC.
scrimmage.
Yeah, and they didn't dominate this year because they lost the line of scrimmage, especially the Super Bowl. They lost the line of scrimmage. KC. Yeah.
Look at but the Eagles have always been in the
I
conversation,
know that's my point.
right?
I'm
Look
agreeing
at the
with you, brother.
49ers
You
until they
gotta
got
win the
old
line of scrimmage
greedy.
because you can lose it.
They
You're
were
gonna
winning
lose. Yeah.
the line of scrimmage still play,
Yeah. Look at
right?
my Bears. We had
Yeah,
no line of scrimmage. Literally, people were breaching the line of scrimmage every play.
So I have
They hit
another
my guy.
question.
yeah,
What's up now?
I have another question. Talking about the tape
yeah.
Yeah.
and how the tape speaks, but what do you think about these measurable conversations that we're having with guys like Kelvin Banks and Will
Hmm.
Campbell talking about arm length?
Yeah, no, I mean, we need to get my guy on Lee Allen Jones. It's shown top prospects have a certain arm length that they're going to be failures. And that's why I think that Banks is like right at the edge, but Will Campbell would concern me, kind of like Pete Skoronski of last year's draft. I think Will Campbell is truly a guard, a left guard, a right guard. I do not think that he's going to be a successful left tackle. If he ends up with people projecting and with the Patriots, it could be ugly. So, yeah, but I think the measurables do
But
matter as far as
again,
because it's shown.
again, it's like look, Darnell, you're a coach. It comes down to your ability to control. So yeah,
But
they
look at
like arm
the
it,
top
but
people, they have certain arm length.
you still have to match that with good technique. There's a whole bunch of things
I
that go into
agree,
technique,
but
right? There's
you
a whole
look
bunch
at
of things that go into it. That
all the top
Yeah,
tackles,
but there's
G
also a
Wills,
lot of
they
positions
all
that
have a
coach
certain
very
arm
well.
length. It's not
Yeah,
it's
but
not
there's also
it's not a
there's
correlation
scheme.
anymore. It's a
There's a lot that go into that, Hammer.
direct
Scheme,
causation,
setup.
bro.
There's a lot
Direct
that goes
causation.
into it,
Yeah, you
Hammer.
have to have the whole tool, kid.
But
Don't
it's
get me
not just the
wrong.
tools. It's how it's do you understand what you're doing and how that person fits into it,
Yeah, I think they do.
right?
And so
That's
my
where
point,
people miss. I
well,
mean, Darnell, you
again,
coach,
it's like
right?
the small
Some of that,
hands with Kane Pickett. Like your
yeah.
guy, Kane Pickett, y'all knew not to draft him, but those small hands. Yeah, and look at him right
It,
now, third team in 4 years.
it, it,
Kane Pickett.
small hands. I ain't never heard nothing about no small hands until we
Yeah,
get here. Like we
small
come
hand.
up with too many
Google it.
excuses
Google it.
for why.
Google it.
Like now we down to hands. Like we are out thinking
He
the
got hands.
room.
30,
There are a whole bunch
33
of
and
things wrong with
gone.
Kenny
Yeah,
Pickett. It wasn't
he
his
got
hands.
small
There are
hands,
a
and that's
there are a
why
whole bunch of things
he can't be a
work with
failure.
Kenny.
That's why people
There are
say it.
other things on the
But yeah,
list. There are other things on the list that were bad about Kenny Pickett that had nothing to do with
the
hands.
small hands have killed him, bro.
Small
Keep it
hands that
pushing.
got nothing to do with it.
Yes, it
You
does.
listen to
Yeah,
too many
small hands
people on
kill him,
draft
bro.
day who've
I
been
think,
drinking liquor.
Everybody told him not to
I
take him
think if
because of
you
small
pass
hands.
up,
What?
I think if you pass up on Will Campbell, because his arms are or 3/8 of an inch shorter than the threshold, I think that's foolish. I
Foolish.
think
We'll see.
that's
I
foolish.
think again. I think again. He. I just like I
It's
said.
Coaching. It's
He's
It's
not just
coaching
arm.
and his
If
he's
you're
his
free,
saying
talent
that, you're
free
saying
and
he
his
can't
traits
coach.
too, and his traits too, man. They
No, it
do
isn't.
test for a
It's
reason. Yes, it does.
coaching.
They
It's
do test.
people giving excuses to things that had nothing to do with. That's
Like
coaching.
that dude from Arizona get a lot of people fired. That dude
It's
McMillan,
coaching.
he'll get a
There's a
lot
whole
of
bunch
people
that go in
fired.
that. That's other than coach.
That's
It's
a
coaching.
slow cat. That's a slow.
Arm length ain't getting you
That cat's
beat.
gonna have trouble getting off the
Bad
line of
coaching
scrimmage.
getting you beat. I'm not letting coaches off the hook. That's ways they can build excuses. Arm length ain't
No, I don't let him off the
getting you
hook
killed.
either.
It's bad coaching and bad scheme.
Well, I asked you something because I asked my guy, but yeah, I asked both of y'all how much. If you look at a player as far as how they produce, how much is coaching compared to talent as far as it goes? Like how much? If you have a certain player, how much of his production is going to be related to talent compared? How much can you change as far as coaching on a player as far as it goes? What 30% maybe?
Well, sometimes you have an eye for what you well as a coach myself.
Yeah,
Like
break
a
it
lot of
down, man. I
times, because
want to ask a question.
well,
If you have a player,
a lot of
if you have
teams
a player,
have
how much percent can you turn a player as far as production? Is it 30%? That I was talking about. I mean, someone broke it down to me. They basically said that
it depends on what deficiencies they have and how
Yeah.
bad they
precisely. They said it depends on coaching will get a player who might not make it to another level to a level they might not get. Like for instance, it might make a guy who's a D3 to a D1 or something like that.
Well, Will Campbell is a guy that
Yeah.
Campbell, I just said
excellent
he
hands.
could be an elite guard. I think he would be but a guard is usually not going to go that high, and so
But
that's
coaching.
where
What Sneed, right? He's the Rams GM, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
let's
let's
So
see,
see.
yeah.
Sneed, I heard him talk about it in the relationship they have, and it's really getting clear about what you want to do and the
Exactly.
archetype that you need to do that, right?
Right.
And I think what people don't do is they don't do when you hear him talk about his relationship with McVay, it's like great. Like this is what we're talking about. And it's like and they've been iterating together to then figure out then how do you onboard to get that person there. And some of it might come down to an assessment of your room and maybe you need this, which means I might not I might be looking for something in the third round. I know this is a person that's probably going to give me at this point in their career one or two things they can do, but that's what we need them to do great because we need needs. Like they think about this much more holistically in how they're going to develop in
Yeah.
ways that but it's around what they're trying to do. And I think, and it's a clear alignment between the coach and the GM around how that execution and what the archetype looks like. Meaning, what do we need? What does our lineman? What does our tackle need to do in our scheme very well? And can they do that? And I think uh, that part has to go deeply as part of it, and they're working through it. That's why I'm saying like it's not just about you like looking at Will and saying
Right.
you're like, this is what we're trying to do. How can he execute it? What do we need to do to make adjustments? So, because he's obviously demonstrated he can do it against high level talent, right? And does that going to work in our scheme? That's the way you look at it. You all these people running around talking about hands and ends and this and that. That's for a whole but sometimes that stuff is just smoke and mirrors.
No, it's
Yeah, you said
shown
that way.
directly. You
You
look
said
at
that
it's
way better.
shown with the top
What?
tackles, D Wills, that they have those traits as far. I mean, it's
But
shown. I
but
mean,
but
it's
but
not unassailable. I mean, it's
But no, but some of
unassailable.
but you're saying that as if they're an isolated player and they're part of a larger system. And usually, what happens in a lot of cases is it's not thinking about like that, right? It's how you developing that player. It's knowing at this stage of the game where they're at. we're going to be giving them help. And as they get confidence, we're taking that help away. Like it's a developmental process that most folks aren't thinking through because they're so much into their scheme, they're so much into what they're doing versus what needs to happen. The players, the organizers do that well, they do it well. You can name them. The Patriots are going to be doing that now with the coach they got. Like you can name them. And these other people make a lot of excuses.
Patriots going to lose with the coach they got, but that's another story. So.
Sorry, Darn, I knew you were jumping in.
I was saying, Devon, you said that much better than I could because technique is not the same in every place. Like they do different tech. Like we're looking at things and like what they do and how that translates to what we do. But sometimes, they're doing stuff that we don't necessarily do. We have to figure out what will translate and how we can teach that to make you fit in our system.
Yeah, you got a lot of coaches who can say a lot of stuff, but they're not teachers.
Right.
And so a lot of stuff gets blamed on the player because they're not teachers. So if you look at organizations like, the Ravens, you look at places like that, they hire people who teach. Like they have a philosophy that gets into what Darnell's thinking, right? That's a little bit more integrated. And so, and their excuse for not being good at what that's why Thomas said the stuff he said, is because they want to use that stuff to because people like the sexiness of it. They can talk schemes, and it's gonna be up to you to kind of figure it out. But if you want to win, it's about people who just love to teach. And not all we assume that all coaches love to teach. Not all coaches love to teach at the league. They if you don't get it, they'll recycle you. Versus I'm gonna invest in you. Not all coaches like to do that. We assume they do, but then not all programs are built that way. And so we got to be a little more critical. I ain't letting them off the hook. Don't give me no 3/8 of an inch. This kid up here, like, I don't want to hear that. Don't talk to me about that.
All the correlations.
Think about the prospect fatigue guys. Like I already mentioned, Will Johnson. Another name, Tyler Booker.
Yeah.
Guys that Malachi Starks.
Yeah.
Like guys that we've heard and we've known for the last 2-3 years.
And they're slipping though. They're slipping hard. They're slipping. Yeah, slipping.
They're slipping because we have more time to look and
see. We've it's like pro basketball players. Yeah.
Maybe this isn't, but I don't know. Speaking I'll start with Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker, like Carl was talking about Jalen Milroe earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Watch any big Jalen Milroe run, and then just watch Tyler Booker.
I think Tyler Booker's a good player. They're picking apart his game, sadly, because like D. Will said, this is lying season. I think I've seen where he's going to go first round, but there was obviously in the beginning of the part of the year, Booker was supposed to go top 15 or something, right? And people were even scrutinizing more because that's the cat that he transferred to Iowa for a hot minute, right? And came back.
No, that was the other guy. It's Caden Proctor.
Caden Proctor. That's
Caden Proctor. He's from Iowa.
That's right. Okay. So thank you for bringing in that. But Booker's always been a top prospect where they're looking at his tape now. They're trying to scrutinize. They're trying to break him down, so to speak. And they probably got a team that really likes him. It's going to draft him in the first round tomorrow. And it's Lions season, but it's going to be interesting because the way this draft, I want to see how this draft breaks down, because the bottom line is that there are going to be some interesting grades. Like I've heard a lot of crazy, like I've heard Tyler Shook is as top on people's boards as a quarterback, which is unbelievable. If you know his journey.
The name to look out for that I'm looking at is Gray Zabel.
Yeah, he can ball. He can go first round, later part of the first, maybe 20 to 25. Yeah, I mean he's a really good prospect. The North Dakota State cat.
That's the D lineman.
No, offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, they're talking about him going to who?
I don't know.
They had him. I saw a projection. It surprised me when I saw it, but I was like, okay, he must be. I had a chance to see him play, but he must be.
No, he's good. He's good. Well, the thing about
I did see. Yes, I did see him play. Yeah, yep.
The thing about guys that play in small schools, you kind of, you don't necessarily know how good they are because of the competition.
Mhm.
But when you watch him play, there's a certain level of dominance that you
Yeah.
see. So like
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah.
you want to see them dominate their competition. And he
Mhm.
does. He definitely checks that box. And if you watch him against Colorado, he showed.
Or
You know,
you want to see traits. I mean, let's keep real. Josh Allen did not dominate his competition in Wyoming. Josh Allen showed the certain traits. That's why I'm saying it's a combination of both, where you have to, if the person might not put up the production, but they show the traits where, I mean, I looked at Josh Allen, I said, so this cat should have been the first pick in the draft, but for the bad tweets and blah, 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 and the bad, but he got a lot of people fired because people passed on him, and he's doing better than all the people that pay, like Baker
yeah,
Mayfield, all the
Gray's
people like
able
that.
is 6'6", 305. So
Yeah, he's legit.
he
Again, he grew late,
and
right?
he had offers in the transfer portal last year. Though, to
He
leave,
turned him down. Yeah, he
leave
turned him
up
down.
to
Yeah.
turn it down.
Yeah, and yeah, like I
So
said, I respect that. I mean, he's gonna get paid. He's gonna be a first rounder. People say he's a solid. It's kind of like I've heard number solid. Like Emeka Ibuka is gonna go first round.
yeah.
They're lauding him. You know, he's the type of guy they broke him down. He was supposed to be top 5 a couple years ago. Now he's gonna be. He's still gonna do well and make big money. Not as big as they
Well, he's a
thought.
part of that. He's a part of that recruiting class, that big old recruiting class that Ohio State had. He was a part of that with Marvin Harrison Jr.,
Yep.
Travion Henderson,
Yep.
J.T. Molo
Yeah.
out
Sawyer. Yeah.
there.
Sawyer. Yeah.
And they decided to say, well, Marvin, of course, he left. He had to leave. He didn't want to leave, but he had to leave. But yeah, but he was part of the group that stayed, and you know, I think he
But
did.
yeah, let's keep it real. He stayed because he was going to go second round last year. Let's keep it real. He had a bad year last year. No, you can check out. Ain't nobody. He had a bad year last year, and he was scrutinized, and and then basically he had to come back. He got the advisory committee of the NFL told him, like, bro, you second round. You might go first if you show out, but you're going second right now. Like, let me go back, get that money, get the NIL money. Now you don't get his first round possibility at the 5th year option. So yeah, he did the right thing, and he was a mild class citizen in Columbus, and he gonna get paid. God bless him. After being a 5-star, the man coming out of high school, and yeah, so the Cats ain't gonna be passing up no first round money. Let's keep real, because you one hit away in the NFL. Even though that insurance money might be good, but it ain't like that check.
Yeah,
So
you also have guys like I'm kind of stuck on O lineman right now. It's in my mind. Well, you got Wyatt, Wyatt Million
Yeah.
from West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Just a road grader, mauler. He played tackle in college. A lot of people are saying that he's probably going to play guard.
Yeah.
But hey, this guy, when he put hands on you, it's a problem. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, this is you got the deep. This is one of the deepest drafts out there. But you're right. The surefire stars. There's only probably 6 of them that are going to be surefire star. Where other drafts, you'll have like maybe 10 stars, some busts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you got more elite talent in other drafts than this talent. You've got very good talent in this draft.
So in your mind, what's the difference between Will, Armand, and Calvin? Like, as you think about those 3 at the top of the tackle group.
I think Armand has the best as far as pro body related to measurements, versatility, body type. I think Campbell's been the best production wise. I mean, the cat, he started LSU as a true freshman.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously he's an elite, but again, do the traits scare people? And D. Will's talking about. I understand what he's. You can laugh how you want to. You can laugh how you want to.
Let me walk through what you just said.
Again, they're players.
He started at LSU as a
Robert
freshman.
Gallery balled out.
He was going to people in practice, and like everybody else, and everybody had respected this kid. All the tape for 4 years tell you he whooping
Did you see
feet.
the interview? Did you see his interview where he said they asked him about his arm lift? He was like, they said the exact same thing when I got to LSU. He said they said the same thing. When I got to college, he said, I don't know what he's trying to do with his arm lift.
And talking to people, I've read about it. It's not, again, cats.
And linemen usually don't start as
It's
freshmen.
not for long in
Yeah.
NFL. It's not for long in
That is
NFL.
uncommon.
Yeah, but you're not
There's
starting
no
4 years at
elite.
LSU.
There's no elite left tackle or right tackle that has those numbers.
Hammer, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Would you think of anybody who started at 4 years at NFL, would you ever project them not to have a good NFL career as offensive lineman?
You're talking about 4 years in college.
If anybody, if you had looked at a guy who started offensive line at a place like LSU for 4 years, would you think they were going to have a really productive NFL career if they were able to start from their freshman and senior year at LSU?
Most likely,
What would
yeah,
be your
but I
projection?
would be most likely, but I would be concerned. I mean, as far as
No.
again,
Would you
start? Wait. Not
Yeah.
only did he start, he is the team
he
captain.
dominated. Yeah, he
He
dominated.
has the number 7. So just
he
like
dominated.
just like at Penn State, where they have the number 11.
Yeah.
Will Campbell has the number 7 patch. Obviously, he can't wear number 7 because it's an eligible number. It's an eligible number, so a lineman can't wear it. But he has the number 7 patch. He is the captain of the team at LSU.
Again, we might think it looks the competitiveness of us, but like I said, you look at these rosters, and I studied about this. There are very few with his arm length who are successful in the NFL, and this is a fact.
Well,
it's
he
fact.
might be the one.
And so, like I said,
missing.
you want to be outlier? Go ahead.
Many
But like I said,
how many of those other people
can't bring it,
hold it. How many of those other people started for 4 years at LSU and wore the number 7? How many of those other people did that?
Bro, again, we're not talking about.
No, we're not going.
It's different from college to pros.
How many other people had his archetype?
Very few, bro.
There we go. Sometimes you outthink the room.
There are very few in the NFL that have his measurements.
But the reason why there's very few,
like that.
Very few, because there's a lot of bad coaches who get paid a lot of money.
Again, if they're that bad, they'd be fired. And so
but we put that system works differently, man. We put up a lot of mediocrity. Look at the Jets coordinator.
I don't know about that, bro.
Look at the Jets coordinator. There's a lot of nepotism. There's a lot of mediocrity in NFL, more than you would think.
They got canned,
more than you would think. I'm not like one of the worst coach positions in the NFL.
Bill Belichick got fired. Enough said.
Quarterback is the worst coach position in the NFL.
The GOAT got fired. He's in college football.
The quarterback is the worst coach position in basketball school. But we talk about all the problems with quarterbacks.
At basketball school, he's there. So again,
but I'm saying quarterback is a terrible coach position. So if you're not coaching quarterbacks well, and that's supposed to be your precious asset. What tells me you don't coach other things poorly?
I think again, there's coaching is not top right now. But I think, bottom line, if they see you as a problem, they're gonna get rid of you.
No, but he's not a problem.
Not for long, baby. NFL.
He's a winner. So,
to answer your question about Will, so Armand Mbu is he probably has the best combination of athleticism, skill.
Yeah.
So like a name you guys probably haven't heard of, Marcus Mbo from Purdue.
I've heard of him.
Is an exceptional athlete.
Yep.
And we're judging these players off of the T-shirt Olympics at the combine. Marcus Mbo is my offensive tackle 1. Yep. he's as smooth of a mover as they come. But when it comes down to blocking and just
he's a 4th rounder, right? He's a 4th rounder, was he?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah,
but as far
might ball out just because
he doesn't necessarily have the consistency that Mbu has. I've watched. We talked about Shamar Stewart. We haven't talked about his teammate Nick Scorton, but both these guys are they're rated high. But they went up against Armand Mbu, and he shut him down.
I hope he slips to the Bears, but it ain't happening. I hope he slips to the Bears.
He can play some
ball.
He's not just an athlete. He can play some football.
He can ball.
And he really impressed.
And you talk about Banks. Banks probably again. I think he's
more finesse.
Yeah, he's more on the cusp of.
Kelvin Banks is a pass protecting finesse guy.
Yeah.
He's talented, but he doesn't play with the same violence that Will Campbell.
He didn't play last. He had a bad year in his junior year. Bad year.
Well, I think he had a decent year. He had a bad game against Georgia. I mean, who doesn't? But he had a bad game against Georgia.
He lost a lot of money, bro. He's supposed to go top 5, right?
Yeah,
I seen
before
mocks. I seen some mocks, so he's gonna go late first.
yeah,
He lost a lot of money against Georgia.
man,
A
yeah.
lot of money. Yeah.
But then you got Josh Simmons. I mean, we ever talk about Josh Simmons? He had a
Yeah, but
he had a
injury. I mean, he
gruesome
might go first
injury.
round. I think he might go first round
Like
just because of the
Josh
fact
Simmons, he had a gruesome injury. He tore his patella tendon. That is a
he
that's a
still might go first round though, man. So yeah,
that's a tough injury right there.
he
But
is, but
but
he still
prior
may
to
go
that,
first round. Yeah.
we're talking about just a smooth athlete. Like this dude, he can move, he can play. His game is effortless. Like
Mm.
he reminds me of Christian Darrisaw. Christian Darrisaw that
Oh
plays
yeah.
for the Vikings. He's
Vikings,
that
yeah.
type of player. He's gonna be solid. He's gonna get the job done. The question is how is that rehab coming and how will it hold up in the future years?
Mm.
Because I don't know too many people that tore their patella tendon.
Yeah, that's a bad injury, bro.
Yeah.
Bad
Well,
injury, man.
I think we dug deep into this one. Y'all didn't go at each other too hard. Even though we going up a hammer on.
No, I was surprised. I was trying to poke the bear with Ashton Gentry, but he didn't take the
Ashton
bait.
Gentry, like he's a good player. Like the thing is, like the overall sentiment of what you said, I don't disagree with. I don't think you should trade up to get Ashton Gentry because they're
Yeah,
15
people are going to do
good
it though.
running backs in
Sadly,
this draft. They're
people sadly
15
gonna do it.
really good. Like why trade up for Ashton Gentry when you can get a Quinshawn Judkins in the second round? I
Because you're
mean,
arrogant. You think he's the next Saquon Barkley. That's what they think. They just think that. But
I
again,
mean,
that's a bad analogy because they said that brother looked like a mere molar. He looked like he played for
he
Penn
made a
against
couple
Penn.
plays, but the thing about
A
the
couple
Penn State
fumbles
game,
too. Yeah.
he was trying a little bit too hard to break the big run,
Yeah.
and especially the way the game was going, I think he got a
Mhm.
little frustrated. He
Yeah.
was trying to overextend himself.
And then
But
what's he going to do in the NFL though? If he getting frustrated on the college level, what the heck he going to do in the NFL if he's
I
getting
mean, but the
frustrated
thing
at the
about
college
the
level?
NFL versus college is
Come on, man.
he's playing at a talent disadvantage. Like his offensive line is not on the same level as Penn State's defensive line.
No, he playing a talent disadvantage because he's not that talented. That's the reason why.
No, he's talented.
Oh
The
man,
Yeah.
line he's playing behind is just not.
that brother was fumbling. He had 2 fumbles in the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like I
But
said, did anyone see the same game I saw? He
I
was
was watching it.
raggedy. I mean, raggedy. And this dude gonna go top 5. He got the best agents ever. I want them to represent me for anything. They can sell his brother.
this sound like we're gonna have another one of them Philadelphia conversations with Hammer. Sound like we're going to revisit it. Sound like he gonna be in the text message like Anita Baker. I apologize. He gonna be
We'll
all up
see.
in there because I
I
think
don't
this
think
kid
that
got it.
though.
I just think
Nah.
I agree with you. I think in that game, the way you stop him started get him before he gets started, and their offensive line wasn't able to. I mean, Penn State, we all know had an elite defensive line. They didn't always deliver. They was on the can't trust it list. Sometimes they didn't show up, but usually that wasn't just their defense. It was really the offense that let them down all the time. They look what they did to everybody else. So it's not like but like you said on Sundays for the most part, he's gonna have an offensive line who can hold up, and let's see what he does.
He's gonna have a defensive line that's even better than
yeah,
he dealt with. He couldn't deal with.
not every Sunday, and depending on where he go,
Every
he gonna
Sunday,
go to
bro.
a team
It's
that's
the
just getting
NFL.
running.
Every Sunday. They're gonna
I
be
gotta feel it, Hammer. I gotta feel we're gonna have
every
another
Sunday.
one of these conversations. I'm just trying to set
Yeah,
it
we have a
up.
conversation.
Let me put this Anita
When
Baker
that
on.
brother
I
doesn't get extended when they
apologize.
decline his 5th-year option, I'm gonna put in the chat and be
What'd you
like,
say about Brother
they
Smith?
decline his 5th-year
What'd you
option.
say about Brother Smith?
Brother Devontae Smith.
What'd you
Devontae
say?
Smith. You said
Yeah, I agree. I missed on
You
that.
out here, you like the new Charles Barkley. I guarantee you like our version of Charles
I
Barkley.
thought he'd be a bust, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm about to
I'm
make
still
sure
stunned,
we got
but
some
God bless.
balls falling down on
He
your
got
head.
extended. He can ball out. I mean, I thought after he got hurt in college, I'm like, he can't even handle college. He can't do a pro, but he balling, man. The brother can ball. I mean, he can go. He can ball. You
Okay.
got these different cats like
Okay.
the Garrett Wilsons of the world wouldn't be, top, but they're ballers, man. They're small in stature, but they can ball. And so again, I admit I can't say nothing but that brother balling. Nothing else. I was wrong. I've been right on other people, but I was wrong on him. I can't lie about that. Wrong, no question.
Hard working, dedicated. Would like to dedicate this to those who never hate it. Can't nothing hold us down. Can always go another round. Welcome to the underground. Real sports with real sports guys. It's a flex that had his mindset. Ready for whatever grind next. My mindset working with the time left. Hard working, dedicated. Would like to dedicate this to those who never hate it. Can't nothing hold us down. Can always go another round. Welcome to the underground. Real sports with real sports guys.